This video is an attempt to respond to AI agency S2 comment that on the video I've made about N8n workflow, specifically related to how to build a workflow that works with a chatbot. I will try to respond with a video to this question, and I'll try to the best of my possibilities to be as clear as possible and show step by step along. Probably I will edit a bit the video, but I'll try to be as concise as possible, going through the workflow I built. So first of all, what I did is to build a workflow which actually goal is to read a document in PDF format to use it as a context. Then imagine you have a chatbot in your web application that one asks a question, it should trigger a response through AI, but this response should be also context aware. And to do that, I use the workflow. So to read this context and to give a response based on this context through optimized way of reading the documents. In this case, it were laws of type of documents. So if you ask a question about a specific law, it should get into the document and understand what is the relevant part to keep in mind for the response. Okay, so first of all, how do I run N8n? I will not go through how to set up N8n because you can follow the documentation for that. But how I run it, which is quite easy. So first of all, I set CMD to set the command line. Probably I make it a bit bigger to be visible, and I simply run N8n. That's it. Once it's run, when set up, it will be run very easily. This will allow to give us a port and the localhost link where we can run N8n. And here we go. We have it here. You can ctrl click, and now you have it here. Most likely, you will not have a necessarily screen immediately. You will have first you need to log in first. So, it did already log in automatically. Maybe save was saved because I was doing something before. And you are inside. This is how it looks like N8n. The workflow I built was this. So generally you would click create workflow to create a workflow, and then you rename it. But because I created, this is the one. We'll wait that it loads. And let's try to go through together to see if it can respond to your question. Obviously, to build, I used a bit N8n application and ChatGPT because I'm quite new to N8n and I'm trying to learn it. And what you must know is that those workflows is not but a JSON file. So once you build the workflow and you export it, it will be just a JSON file. That's why also ChatGPT can build this file if it's aware of what you want to build. Specifically, I advise you to use the search functionality of ChatGPT because we want to and the version you're using, because a different version of N8n might provide a wrong JSON file when you attempt to build the workflow. Also, you might notice that if you use the ChatGPT, it might still not work. You might have to adapt it, and that's where basically using the JSON file plus the documentation and practicing, you will get the workflow up and running. If you're a beginner, probably you're not. I'm just saying for everybody. So this part is the part that which goal actually is to read the document and to divide in vectors chunked by space, because when I try to retrieve the document might be very big. But because if you divide in the context in different chunks, in vectors, it is easier for the AI to digest it faster and easier. That's basically what happened here. So here there is a manual trigger, which you can create here, manual trigger, and let's go inside it. It's just a manual trigger. Does nothing. It's an action you perform manually. You click on it. If you want to, you can use it simply to click here to run this workflow or to test the workflow. So it is where you start the workflow. Because this part you will run it first, because the goal is then to divide the documents in chunks and to push them to a database that in this case is Supabase, which maybe how I did it. But anyway, know that this data then is saved to a Supabase so that can be retrieved later when you from the chatbot. So the second is a read file format, which you can again create here. Read file that what it does is simply to read files from disk. So in operation, I set a file from disk, and the path is whatever path you decide. In my PC is this because I put there the document, and as you can see here in the end there is an asterisk PDF, which means that I can add any PDF there. And sorry, I got a call and it was a spamming call. I don't know if you get it, but that was it. Let's continue. This I'm not sure what exactly is because I can't find the same logo, but I think it's a read file. If you can find the file sometime, you might have to, you can install libraries. So you can go to setting, community node, install a new community, and you can search there for an N8n PDF. It will go to an NPM library with all the libraries related to reading PDF. And that might be the way you actually get that read PDF specific one. And now I'm not sure how I did it. It was a lot of iteration, but basically pretty much this is a file that where you have to search the data. That is basically how will be called output of the PDF. We decided that we call data. We can call anything. We call it just data. And it does nothing about of this. It simply read the file and it call it data. Then here we have two, I'm not sure why I made two different outputs, but what this does is to make the data read of the file called data, and to select the input file. The input file will be the data, and we call it text. So yes, it will call it text. Here, so basically transform the data in text. So from one side we have an array that we call data, and another side instead we make call, a post call to the local model. So in this case, I used LM Studio because I didn't want to pay token for AI, so I could use OpenAI to make these calls. Instead, I needed a model. I just needed the model to test this with. And I decided to use LM Studio. LM Studio is like a tool that allows you to test local AI models. You can simply download it online, and then you can download the model you need. Basically, it looks like this. And basically, you can go to the developer section and you can select your model, Qwen3, and load it. Once you load it, you can get information about this model, where to make the post call. Okay, now the model is ready, and you can see that this model is this one. It's not the model I used. I used another one. I think was this, the embed model. Yeah, I think was this. So this is the model, and these are the call. So if you make, as you might notice, I made v1 embeddings. This is the type of call you make for reading documents. v1 embeddings. This is the now that then will change, but this is the local host of the local machine. Yours will be different, and everybody else will be different. I send headers, which is content type application JSON. I send a body, which is the model, which is the one that I show you, and the input which is JSON text, will be inside that. And so basically these two elements will depart and will merge. Here I created a file which merges, you can find it here, merge the input one and input two. So we have data and text, which combine. So combined by position. Why that? I'm not don't remember, to be honest. I use ChatGPT, but I advise you also to do that when you want to try to get it done, and also to test and see if you're happy with the result. And I was happy with with the result. So it merged here. Then here we have a sanification. So basically, because the data is, because we get the different documents which we want to divide the embeddings from, we want to basically, here what we do is to divide every embedding by comma to create to divide different embeddings, so that as the output we will have many embeddings which will be chunks of data. And finally, this will insert into docs, which is the table we created in Supabase, text and embeddings as value 1 and 2 as a vector. And it will not do other than adding this data into the database. The query parameter is this, and from this will be sent the data to the Supabase. I used ChatGPT again to do this. Let's run the workflow. Let's see the input and output, how they come. Supabase is a database that when the first project, you can use it even for free. Basically, is this. You can start your project and you can create your database. I call it docs in this case, and you can go from there. By the way, as you can see, we have here the manual tree, the read file, which called data files, 6 items, which are the PDF files. It reads 6 documents, which you can view, and they show how they look like. They are all as unique files that then will be divided in embeddings by a comma. So everywhere where there will be a comma in this article will be divided, it will be new chunk, for what I understand. Here there is an error. The server refused connection. Okay, why this? Simply because what you need to do is to make active your LLM of usage, start to stop. So now it's running. Now it will work if you run it again. So test workflow. I will stop it again because otherwise other people can call on my LLM, which I don't want. So I will always stop it when I don't use, and I will change it later. By the way, this works with the local model. You can adapt it for OpenAI, use ChatGPT to help you modify the JSON. You can export the JSON, you can download it, and then you can import your JSON into ChatGPT and ask questions to it to modify, as I mentioned already. So this will send into Supabase, and then we have the second part, which is the webhook. The webhook allow us to basically to catch a specific API call. For example, we make a post call. As you see, the workflow was successful. So the data is now in the database. As you see here, we have many embeddings. So the documents are divided in a digestible way and are sent to the database. Here, the webhook will, once in the chat, in the backend, you run a call to specific URL, which in this case is localhost, but you might have a tunneling provider like in Grok, which make well, this will work if you put, basically API don't work with your localhost. You need to make your URL public. For this, you need Grok. So check that. So basically, it transforms your localhost URL in a public URL, which will be static URL, which will be basically substituted to this. And you can call it the way you want. I mean, I call it a legal chatbot, but you can call different way. If you send a call with your URL, tunnel URL, not the localhost that you see here, and you send a post, this will be automatically triggered. So if you in the workflow listen you need to click listen to for test event, and then you run this workflow. You can do it in a different way with the curl command. Ask ChatGPT how to do that, and you can insert a question. In my case, was this the question? Basically, where I send a message. What is the role related to Philippine country regarding elements of the contract of sale? Once you send this, this is triggered automatically and it will run. Then the second field is an edit field, and it takes the question, which was the output of this. By the way, the webhook is created in this way. The path I set to legal chatbot, but can be whatever you decide to be. Then in the manual mapping, we get whatever it is in the message, which we sent by the curl message, we send into a variable called we decide to call question, but can be called anything you want. And that's what it does this part, simply. Then we send a post request to the AI. So with this question, we send a post message. This is made this way. It's a JSON file, body context JSON, with an input, which is the question. The model to be used is whatever is decided to be in the localhost. The header is the content type JSON. The setting is the same as it was by default. And here it searched the supabase. This is the query parameter to search the supabase. In this case, for the way we set it up. And then we write a prompt. So you are a knowledgeable legal advisor. Use this following context, except from Philippine law, because in this case the documents are like that. You can add whatever it is you want to get from the PDF. The user question is question. Please, according to the structure, issue analysis conclusions, information and purpose only, not form a legal advice. So this is a disclaimer. It writes a prompt basically. And then we get the response. We send a post message, always to the LM Studio, and where the model, in this case, I set a different model. It can be the same model. It's just to show you how I made this. I select the role as system, the content as the prompt, and in this way. And finally, we get the response, and the response will be the chat message response, which then you can insert into your chatbot. Hope this was useful. This is what this build does. A bit of ChatGPT, a bit of look into documentation. It worked. I'm not running it now, but it works. It definitely works. I just didn't plug this with an application because this is a project I did for free for a client to help him, and I sent this workflow to him, hand it over to test it and use it, and then plug it with their team to their application. Don't use the URL that you see, localhost, because it will not work. Also because, as you can see, now I'm switching off my LM environment. You can set it up to your own machine and use the data that you can see in the info area. So the model, whatever model you choose, to fill correctly the JSON. I hope this was useful. Let me know if you didn't. Hope I responded your question. I did my best. This was a walkthrough for N8n, how it works and how to build automation for your applications. And like, comment the video if you watch the video. Hope I helped you a little bit. And see you in the next